Welcome aboard, Skylark Outdoors here, and today we're going to review the Monterey 278 SS, which we've got right here, and take you on a tour of this boat. Now, most of Monterey's newer boats are outboard engine powered, but this one has an inboard engine with 430 horsepower. And what's really nice about the inboard in this configuration is you get that really large swim deck and layout platform in the rear, which you don't get with the outboard engine. Now, as we move forward, you can see there's ample seating inside here. You've got the rear bench, and then you've got another seat behind the captain's chair, and then you've got both a captain's chair and a passenger chair. I like that the captain's chair is enough for 1.5, 2 people. You can definitely fit 2 people in there, but it's nice sometimes if you want to have somebody sit next to have a little bit larger captain's chair. You've got your controls. We've got a ski tower with speakers up there on the top, as well as shade provided. And then when we go to the front, we've got our throttle controls. This is powered by Mercruiser or Mercury engines here, and this is actually Yacht certified, which is surprising for a boat that size. And what that means is that it's built to a certification of the yacht level certification, and it also means that you can have more people on it than you can a boat that is rated just for a number of persons. It just is built to a higher standard, so that's nice to see on this size boat. And the inboard engine in here puts out 430 horsepower, so the similar size outboard powered boat is somewhat limited to what horsepower rating you can put on it, but with this they can really bump that up. Now there's a variety of engine options for this particular model, so you can go with a little bit larger or a little bit smaller horsepower depending on what you want, but 430 is the max. You can see the controls here. You've got everything you need to be able to operate this boat and operate it safely and efficiently. It's got an 80-gallon capacity for fuel. It's 26 feet and 8 inches long, 8'6" beam, 20-degree dead rise, has a 25-inch draft when the engine is trimmed up, and you've got 15 gallons of water capacity and 10 gallons of waste capacity. You might wonder, what's the waste capacity for? This actually has a head on it, which is also a great addition for something that you would traditionally consider a bow rider. It weighs in at 5,500 pounds, and depending on what engine you go with, you can get anywhere between 43 and 51 miles per hour as your top speed. And then at cruise, you're going to burn anywhere between 10 and 12 gallons per hour, which is actually really efficient for this size boat, depending on that engine size. So right here, you've got a little area to store your phones or whatever you need there. But then you open this up down here at the bottom, and you do have a full head. Now, I've got to move the seat back to get this open, so it just takes me a second here, but they just had it configured so you couldn't open that up for a minute. But you do have a head in here, and it is plumbed, so you don't have to empty it out yourself, but you can pump it out the side, or you could go with a porta potty option if you wanted to. Then up here, you've got a little storage locker, and then this you can put up to kind of keep you out of the weather if you've got your isinglass up and the windshield up, and just keep the wind out of the back. And you can get isinglass that'll go all the way up to the tower. And that's one of the nice things about the tower, is that you can really enclose it if you want to stay a little bit warmer in cooler months. You got a really nice front here in the bow, and then you've got your windlass and anchor chain locker here. They don't have an anchor on this one because it is just getting ready to come out in the water and get sold. This boat is at the Bay Harbor Boat Show in 2024. And you've got your nav lights here, and some nice cleats right up here at the bow. I love when they have the recessible cleats. You're seeing that on more and more boats. It just makes it so there's less snags and stuff when you recess those cleats, and just a lot cleaner look. I do like that as a feature on a lot of boats. This one, I do think that you've got options for this where you can get the tow tower slash bimini top, I guess you would call it here. I would highly recommend going with this bimini hard top here like they've got, just because you're going to get a lot of shade, as well as then you've got another point for towing. If you go without that, you can get a towing point in the rear for being able to tow like a water skier, tuber, or anything else like that. But this one has that integrated tow point you can see up there with the nav light just above where you've got your shade cloth. So I would recommend going with that, and then that can fold down so that you can store this inside of a garage with a lower height in the winter, or pole barn or whatever. But the biggest selling point of going with this model over the outboard models of the similar size is if you want that swim platform in the rear, you're going to have more space on that swim platform and aft deck layout, and that really nice aft deck seat if you go with the inboard engine. And it seems like you can get a slightly larger horsepower rating with the inboard engine. Now, when you go with inboard versus outboard, it does mean that you're going to have to winterize this thing, or the winterization procedure is going to be a little bit more involved than the outboard engines. It also means that you will have a little bit more maintenance over the course of the boat, in terms of you got to make sure that you've got your seals all correct on there. For the outdrive, you've got to make sure that you get that outdrive serviced fairly regularly. I would say every 2 to 3 years, you're probably going to need a new bellows, depending on your environment. If you're in freshwater, you're going to need that a lot less, but still, you want to make sure that you're checking on that bellows and having a mechanic go through it, or yourself. Every once in a while, those just tend to go bad. And the bellows is basically the connection between the outdrive and the engine. There's some rubber pieces there that just flex a lot over time, and something that you need to be aware of. But you are getting a boat that is yacht certified. You are getting that really large swim platform in the back if you want that. And then you have that seat, and that seat back in the rear actually folds forwards and backwards. So you can make it more like a seat that is in part of the boat, and that bench seat, or you can fold that backrest forwards and then make it a really nice layout bench and soak in the sun there. I think the biggest selling points of this boat are yacht certified, fairly good fuel consumption, and at 5,500 pounds empty, it's going to be very easy to tow. And you could feasibly tow this with a larger SUV. You don't necessarily have to go to a truck to tow this, but you could certainly tow this with pretty much any full-size truck, no issues. And even kind of like a mid-size truck, some of them are going to be able to tow this, but you got to take into account the weight of the trailer. Trailers are typically probably right around 1,000 to 1,500 pounds for this size boat, depending on what you go with. I would probably go with an aluminum trailer if possible on this boat, just to get you a little bit more weight shaved off. And if you had a smaller tow vehicle, you could tow it with that. And then in terms of the other things I like on this, I do like the shade and ski tower here. I always think it's nice to have some kind of permanent shade on a boat. It just is easier a day in and day out when you're going out to your boat, to not have to put a cover up for shade, or put like a shade cloth up, versus this has a little bit of shade that probably 70-80% of the time is going to give you enough for a couple people to sit under and not get too much sun. So I like that, as well as when you have this style with that hard arch on the top, or bimini, you're going to be able to connect isinglass to it that can keep you out of the elements and wind. So I think that's always an advantage as well when you go with the hard tower or bimini top, or hard top, kind of like we've got here, versus one that you've just got a flip up shade cloth. And that is a really big advantage. Now, the only disadvantage is that it does have a slightly higher height when you are trying to stow it, and most likely you're going to have to put this down in the winter to get it stored, unless you've got a pole barn or something with a larger garage door. But at 5,500 pounds, you get a lot of power, and that's a pretty good power to weight ratio for this size of boat. So thanks for watching this review of the Monterey 278 SS. We hope you enjoyed that. Please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, and check down in the description below if you want to take any courses on being a better boater, and some other great features we've got for being outdoors. So if you want to support us, that's the best way you can. Look down in the description and we can help you out. And if you've got any questions on any of the boats that you see on this channel, please reach out, sign up for the email list, or you can find our contact information down below as well. And I recommend, if you are interested in Monterey boats, check out the other review we have on the Monterey 255. That one is outboard powered and it's slightly smaller than this. So it gives you an example of what it is like with that rear layout with the outboard power. And then it's just slightly smaller, but very similar layout. And you could actually go up to a size that's similar to this with the outboard and see what it's like. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.